I'd just like to show you how to add articulation and dynamics to your piece. You don't strictly have to do this, but if you are experienced with music or if you'd like to add a little bit something extra, then this is how you do it. You will find dynamics and articulation and ornaments on the left side on the palette. If you don't see the palette, it's okay. Go to View and click Palettes. So what I've done is I've just added a couple of articulations and dynamics. Firstly, I'll show you how to add the dynamics. Dynamics are the louds and softs of music, and I want my melody to be slightly louder, so I chose mezzo forte for that. And all I did was click on it, mezzo forte, and you drag it over to the note on which you'd like it to appear. Now that is something silly I would never do, because once something is mezzo forte, it remains mezzo forte until you change it. So it's probably not very bluesy to go through and put a lot of dynamic changes in, but if you'd like to make a change maybe at bar 5 and have something different happening, that's okay. Notice that the dynamics are underneath the main melodic part, but for the piano the dynamics are in between the two lines. And mezzo piano is slightly softer than mezzo forte, so that you can hear the melody line better. So once again, any dynamics you want to choose, click on them and drag them to the part where you'd like to see them happen. That should be on the top line. And then it just sort of sneaks in there. The articulation is much the same. I'll let you listen to what I've done here as far as articulation, because it does make a difference to the sound. So I've just added a few little things. I've added a staccato. A staccato makes the note detached, and that's this little dot there. That's not to be confused with this dot up here, which is an augmentation or a rhythm dot, which makes it a dotted crotchet and makes it longer. The staccato dot just makes it a little bit, it's still a crotchet's length, but it doesn't last quite as long. It's detached from the next note. And the next one here is not actually over here in the list. That's a slur. And you get a slur by hitting S. Choose the first note, hit S, and you've got a slur. And that goes bum, ba-da-bum. And that sort of carries that one on and makes the next one automatically a little bit shorter. So I've put staccato, slur, which sounds like this, which makes it sound a little bit bluesier. I've also put on a tenuto or a stress. And all of these things are put on in exactly the same way that you put on the dynamics. You choose what you want, and then you go over to the note, make sure the note turns blue so it's recognized, and your tenuto's in there. And if you ever want to get rid of it, click it and hit delete, or you might have to cut it depending on your version of MuseScore. So throughout, I have just added a few things. Once again, don't add something to every single note, or that will just be overkill. That'll be too much. I've added some accents, some sort of what I would call karate chop accents. So those ones just make it a little bit more present, a little bit louder. And this accent again is the tenuto, so that makes it just sort of have a bit more weight to it. At the very end, I put on a few things. The very end, I wanted to have just a plain old accent. So that accent, what it calls a sforzato, I will take and drag onto the note, and I wanted a little bit of a tenuto before that. So the last two bars sound like this with the articulations. And they do really make a difference to make it sound just that little bit more bluesy.